So now, what do I have there? I have a slight amount of clearance above this pulley to put the flathead in. I mean, if I get the flathead perfectly flush, great, but I have some clearance so I can let it protrude a little bit if I need to. I want to take this apart. Let's see what my limiting factor is for this. Eventually I'll find the right wrench. So what I'm curious about is I need to put the screw hole for that bottom mount in such that it misses this bolt head and this aluminum body. And looking at this, that bolt head is slightly wider than this body. So long as I put the other bolt head in one full bolt head over, all will be good. I'm pretty sure I put these as, yeah, these are 1024 threaded holes. And this head is 3.377. So in theory, if I go off the line of this hole, I'm doing this totally the hard way. So 377 plus the other line was 143. 0.143 plus point. So 0.52. I'm going to add another 5 to that. So 0.525, just to give me a little bit of clearance. So my first hole needs to be right on that line. This block is 0.751. 751. So 3755. There's my center punch. So my bottom mounting hole needs to be right there. So I just need to drill that for a clearance hole for a 1024 and then countersink this side, the opposite side of this one, so this guy will sit in like that. And then the upper hole is a little more challenging to figure out. So I sort of need to measure. I should get out, I'm going to mount this hole. How do I want to do this? The challenge I have here is I need to mount this block such that the distance from this, the camera's off this plate, the right window, so I can see as much viewing area as I want, and it lets me focus this guy so it's somewhere sort of in the middle of the range. We don't want it all the way cranked in, because then if I need to drop it, I'm screwed. We don't want it cranked all the way out, because if I have to lift it, I'm screwed. So, ideally, that's all the way out. I think I'd want it somewhere like right there. That way I got 50% adjustment in either direction. So, as I stack up nests to put the cards on for placement, if I have to, I can just tweak the focus a little bit without having to move any of the other parts. So I may just, what time is it? I may just quick drill and find a screw for this guy and get that taken care of, and then I can reassemble this on here, loosen this screw, fix my focus up and down so all the visuals are right, and then worry about where this screw goes. So to transfer that screw hole, I may just put a ball bearing in there, bolt this back together once I figure out where it needs to be, and then smack it to transfer the hole. I think that's going to be the easiest. Otherwise I have to measure, get this bottom one, that's probably the better way. So I'll get this bottom one set where it needs to be. It will bolt to the plate here, and then I'll move the camera back and forth to get my distance set. And then I'll just measure between these two holes, and then going off this line I'll measure that same distance up here. In fact, I want to write that down. So this was 0.525. 0.525. So this 0.525 is the distance from this edge to this line. So once I measure between these two holes when they're set, I had 0.525, and I know exactly where that other hole needs to be. So I'm going to go and drill myself some holes and countersink, or drill myself a hole and countersink it. And it needs to be about 188, 189, which is 0.1, number 11 or number 12. I'm probably going to go with number 11 to give myself a little bit of slop in the part, which looks to be the one I used for that hole. So I'm going to go center drill this, drill it, and then countersink it once I find out what I do with my countersink. And then I'll cut back in once that's done.